We are live. It is great to be back doing AEW content on this channel. AEW Revolution takes place this Sunday, March the 15th, and it is predictions time once again. You've just seen the match card, and I've got a very special guest next to me. He is Mr. OTM of On The Mark Wrestling Podcast. He's also making moves with the Main Event Wrestling Network, and of course is a co-host of NXT Night Shift. It is the one, the only Kyle, Too Sweet Kyle in the house. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great now that I'm back with you. I think it's been about half a year. We used to do this more often, but as life goes, my friend, life changes. Your life has changed. My life is changing as we speak. I might have to take shelter here in the middle of the show. So forewarning right now, there's tornadoes headed to my area.
And literally, it's insane to think of that. And the fact that you're still with us is just incredible. How can I say? It's literally, you have a dedication. That's the word I want, a dedication to this. And that's enough to turn around and say, look, your channels, you've got that every day going on right now with Kayfabe Copy. You've got your weekly show with OTM. You've got the night shift going on as well. So, I mean, if there is no other reason, go and subscribe right now to all those channels. I will put all the links in this video at the very end. Unfortunately, Kyle, I have not done that yet, so it'll be at the end of the video, pinned comment for you as well. But we want people's predictions as well for AEW Revolution. It's good to have you in the house, and we do have a small Tino in the house who said that what's up, fam? Good to see you as well. Yeah, we've got Eric Douglas in the house as well, who's mentioned Seth Rollins. Unfortunately, he's not part of AEW, but if we have a bit of time towards the end, maybe we can discuss a little bit of WWE as well. But before we do, it's what I do with every one of these streams, usually when it comes to PLEs or pay-per-views, whichever you prefer. I want your excitement levels out of 10 for AEW Revolution.
AEW Revolution always delivers, as you know. We've seen all of the past ones, and every single one has at least 2 match of the year candidates. And just looking at that card that you just showed us at the beginning of this stream, how can you not be at least an 8? Because right now, and I think you would probably agree with me, I think AEW is actually doing some really good stuff. I feel like they're restoring the feeling, at least they are with me personally. So Revolution, my hype going into Sunday's show, probably at a 9 right now.
To be honest, I think AEW in recent months has brought back the fun factor. They were the fun factor. They were the fun alternative when they kicked things off and they were trying all these new things and you know, with Dynamite and obviously Collision coming into the picture as well. Then you had that sort of grey area, that moment. Obviously, look, every AEW fan doesn't want to hear it, but obviously CM Punk leaves the company and things just go a little bit weird for about, I don't know, a year to 18 months. But I do think that AEW have turned a corner, and I feel that certainly at the turn of the year to now, especially with the AEW World title scene, they've made it so fun, so exciting. And to be brutally honest, it's probably the best show on TV right now when it comes to professional wrestling.
I would argue that or NXT for like weekly television, just because NXT is so unique. And obviously the guy that has an NXT podcast is going to say NXT, but I would agree with you. AEW has been very consistent for this past year. And like you mentioned too, the main event scene in AEW might be the most loaded, at least in the men's division. They have a list of probably 10 to 12 names right now, and a lot of them are on this card that we might see in the main event later on this year.
Absolutely, indeed. But obviously, when it comes to this show, I need to ask, what match are you most looking forward to at the time of recording? And for those that are watching now, obviously watching live now, we're doing this before the Dynamite Go Home show, so there could always be 1 or 2 matches added to the show, which, of course, if that is the case for this channel, I'll give you a shorts later in the week. But what, at this point, match are you most looking forward to?
I'm going to go with the slam dunk, with the one that's right in your face, the main event. I'm wearing the shirt. Adam Hangman Page has always been my favorite in AEW, and I think this is just the perfect babyface versus the perfect heel. I don't know which direction that match is going to go. Obviously, we're going to talk about that way later in the show, but that's why that match is the most exciting for me, is because I think there is definitely a couple avenues that they can go down, and we will find out which one they choose here. So it's, for me, it might be the easy choice, Steve, but I'm going with the deathmatch main event. What about you?
I tell you what, it's a great match. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to say it right now. I think I've got a bold prediction for that main event. So I'm going to just leave that lingering for people to digest for the next little bit of time or so. Yeah, so we'll just sprinkle that there for you. But I'm going to go a bit outside the box. I tell you what, Bandito versus Andrade El Idolo.
I was going to say that.
As soon as that match was announced, I went, all right, yeah, I'll have a bit of that. Andrade's presentation since coming back to AEW has been nothing short of exceptional. He feels like a huge deal very quickly, and he's been actually presented as a world title contender, and it feels believable very, very quickly. Bandido, of course, has been having a world title match himself earlier this year against MJF, and he's just consistently a really, really good wrestler in ring in AEW, former tag team champion, I believe current ROH world champion as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, but yeah, I don't watch ROH regularly, so I wouldn't be able to tell you for sure.
No, but I've seen the new arena, and it's not going to entice
TV
me
taping.
anytime soon. Yeah, TV taping. It's not going to bring me in anytime soon, sadly. But yeah, certainly should be a lot of fun as well. Eric Douglas says to us, looking forward to Thekla versus Stats, and of course MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. Two very good matches to go through indeed. But we're going to start things off with the 0 hour. Very rare we dump into a 0 hour match to kick things off, but that's what we'll be doing. Ricochet, generous little soul he is. He's defending his AEW National Championship in a 21-man Blackjack Battle Royale. Now, for those that are unfamiliar with the rules, maybe not seen one of these, this is the infamous Casino Battle Royale match that was in the early days of AEW. It's going to have all the suits. Obviously, we have the hearts, the diamonds, the clubs, and the spades as well. And then there'll be a number 21 entrance. So I believe 5 people will start in the ring. Then with each card being revealed, another 5 enter the match, and that will happen when we have 20, and then we'll have, which I believe is the Joker card, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is the Joker. 21. You're jogging my memory now because I was in attendance for the 2021 of Revolution, and I got to see Ruby Soho's debut, so that's now jogging my memory a little bit. So thank you for that.
No worries. And to be honest, actually, that was that's still probably my favorite AEW show, probably of all time.
The best, right?
That and obviously I'm a bit biased. I went to the Wembley show in 23, so that was
really
that was a big deal as well. So yeah, those are the two that stand out for me. But yeah, look, I mean, Revolution, Ricochet here. Let's get the match at the bottom as well, so people can see what we're talking about. But yeah, obviously Ricochet's. He's got his group, The Demand, as well. So we assume that perhaps all 3 members will be involved in this match at some point. So Ricochet's protected. Jungle Jack Perry, obviously, is probably going to be included in this match as well. He's been the main contender for this championship. Could you see him being someone that would finally take the title of Ricochet? Or is this a good opportunity for Ricochet to retain? Or completely swerve, no pun intended with that one, by the way. We'll talk about him later. But where someone else can come in and take their championship and do something completely fresh in AEW.
You know, that's a lot of good questions right there to digest. And I just found out that this Battle Royal was happening pre-show before we went live. So a lot for me to take in here. But knowing, like what you just said, that Jack Perry seems to be in line for that title, I do want to say this before I get into the weeds about the match. I don't think the national title was necessary. And I really don't know. I mean, I get it, why they're doing it, because I think this is the title, right, that they kind of send to the indies and have Ricochet showcase that title and have matches with independent talent. But to me, it just, we've talked about it before, I think me and you. AEW has a lot of belts. And I think this is just one of those belts that doesn't have a lot of meaning. So I don't think Jack Perry winning in a Battle Royal format is the best way to do so if you want to crown him and make that moment. So in my opinion, it's either he's retaining or they just throw a wild card at us, like maybe a David Finlay, just to give them some juice, get a title in that new faction, the Dogs. So I don't know if you didn't ask for my pick, but I'm going to give you my pick. It's David Finlay. I'm going with a wild card.
I love that prediction. Like you said, that would really make the War Dogs really strong really early in AEW, and obviously with a big impact with that debut last week. Excuse me, I want to sneeze now. And the thing is as well, we'll probably get the likes of Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy probably being in this as well, because they're not currently scheduled for a match, but it's a good way to place them in. Could you see like a surprise entrance, someone we haven't seen in AEW potentially arrive here, or someone come back from an injury, for example?
I was just thinking that myself, but I mean, I don't know if there's any rumors behind it. There probably isn't. I'd like to see Wardlow return. I think him getting back into things would be nice because he had a lot of momentum 2-3 years ago. And then I believe he got hit with an injury and then they split him off from MJF and he never really got back on track. But that's a guy I would like to see back. I just don't know what the status is right now with their injured talent on who could even show up in this match. Do you know of any rumors or potential signings that might be coming in?
No, and that's another thing. Signings, AEW have not been shy about bringing some new names in this year. And obviously, we mentioned the War Dogs being some of them. But Eric Douglas says you can see Will Ospreay coming back. He's obviously been teased with some vignettes recently, but I imagine
0 hour.
I wouldn't imagine on a 0 Hour or a Battle Royal, but his prediction is going to be Clark Connors of the War Dogs as well. So clearly seems to be some stakes within that group. I imagine the Don Callis family might be half of this Battle Royal. They've got quite a few members. Josh Alexander could be someone that could be one to keep an eye on, maybe, of the group. Hijacero as well has had some really impressive performances recently. I honestly, I'm going to go with the boring answer. I think Ricochet's going to find a way to retain. And I think that we'll save this for another day for him and Jack Perry to have a final battle where Jack Perry probably wins the title. But yeah, I'm going to say that Ricochet will retain it. But last thing I'm just going to mention before we do move on, not really heard much of the Hurt Syndicate recently. I'm not sure what's been going on with them. That could be someone that could come into this and could cause a bit of a stir, since the fact that they were after this title originally.
That's what I was thinking. Bobby Lashley, a name that we haven't seen in months. It would make a lot of sense to reignite that feud, wouldn't it?
It would. It could make a lot of sense. And I
Why did they take him off? Do you know?
And not a clue. Not a clue. I was completely out of the radar, and I've caught up with AEW in about 2 weeks, about 2.5 months.
That's a lot of catching up to do right there.
There's a lot of catching up to do. So a lot of it's fresh in the brain, but the stuff of news reports, I didn't go back and check those out. So yeah. But
to be fair, I don't really pay much attention to rumors anymore, because half the things that you see online are not true. So I don't even give them the time of the day anymore. I'll just be surprised, like the old-fashioned way when we used to watch wrestling and we didn't know what things were going to happen. Steve,
it makes things more fun, doesn't it?
Who would have thought?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. So yeah, fine. We'll go with then quick final predictions then, because this one, anything could generally happen. So I'm going to say Ricochet, and would I be right in saying you're going with David Finlay?
I'm going with David Finlay. Another wild card picks Bobby Lashley, just to be fun.
And if we're going to go wild card, I will join you with Bobby Lashley. I think it would be a lot of fun to see that happen. Tino Soam says, we are back and it feels so good. What's up, guys? It feels so good to have you in as well, Tino. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And yes, hope you're keeping well. He says, which run has been worse, the Hurt Business or the Hurt Syndicate?
That's a great question, Tino. I would say the Hurt Business for now, just because we will never see, what was to come of the Hurt Business, and there's still time with the Hurt Syndicate. But Steve, there was a lot of hype when the Hurt Syndicate first launched in AEW, the presentation of the group. We really thought they were going to run roughshod on the roster, and that hasn't happened. So it's a tough call, but for me, it's the Hurt Business, I think.
I mean, Hurt Business for me was a big deal when they were around. It was from the breakup onwards that it hurt. I mean, obviously they had a solid about 4 to 6 months, which was really, really booked well. And then it all went down the toilet. Hurt Syndicate have been booked fine in AEW. I just don't think they've been booked to the heights of what we were expecting. We thought they'd come in and take over at the top of the card, but they spent half a year in the tag team scene. So, yeah, it's a difficult one. I don't think either run's been necessarily bad, but I don't think any of them have been booked to their potential.
And they really haven't been booked frequently too, which is a problem as well. If you're not on television every single week, people are going to forget about you and you're not going to be important anymore.
Absolutely, and we're still talking about them as being a return on 0 Hour. So yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Didn't they do that with Jamie Hayter just recently too? Like, let's not, no disrespect to 0 Hour, but let's not waste a return on that.
No, because half of the viewership isn't watching. I may make an effort for this. I like the battle royals that they do, but yeah, I don't usually go with all the 0 Hours. But
it's just on in the background, while you're prepping your snacks for the show.
Exactly. I always say Hurt Syndicate for now, but the story isn't over, so they have a way to go. They have a way to go to overtake the business. But we'll go into the main show in the meantime, and we'll be diving in next then to the AEW Continental Championship. No time limits, of course. These two did face John Moxley and Konosuke Takeshita at the Grand Slam Australia show, and of course that was a time limit draw, hence why we have no time limit here. Moxley, of course, is the Continental Champion. He won the title at World's End at the end of last year. Takeshita, for me, I thought was someone that was a shoo-in to potentially win that, actually, from Okada, but it didn't work out in the end. But certainly he's been on hot heels of Moxley ever since. These two, I think, have got good chemistry in ring. I'm excited to see what they can do here. A no time limit does make me think, is this going to be a 45-minute epic?
I think it's going to be, Steve.
It has the potential to be a long one, but hopefully it's going to be a good one. What's your thoughts with Moxley versus Takeshita?
Another matchup that I'm really excited for. Every time that these two have gone one on one, it's already been great. And they've intentionally just been giving you basically a tease of what they are capable of. And we haven't really seen them full go. Now that we have this Revolution pay per view coming up, this is where we're going to see them both go balls to the wall. And I'm really excited for Takeshita because I think this is going to be a big moment for him. And I think he has to win this match. Now is the time to do so because Jon Moxley is so safe in AEW to where he can lose to anybody and he's still going to be a major player no matter what. They've solidified him as the quote unquote ace of AEW, and there's no denying that. So him losing a competitive, long, 45-minute classic to Takeshita, who has some of the best wrestling abilities in the world right now, this is going to be special. But I think Konosuke Takeshita has to walk out with the title, Steve.
You might have swayed me coming into this. I was Jon Moxley all the way, but I feel like you made a very compelling argument. The thing is, as well, that makes this a very compelling argument is right now the Don Callis family are dripping. I mean, literally dripping in gold. So many of them have championships right now. Obviously, Okada and Fletcher are double champions. We'll be talking about them defending the trios titles later on. But I also feel like there could be a bit of fun here if Takeshita loses, because that could also play into the story of the Don Callis family. I don't think it's any secret that Takeshita feels like he's going to be the first one to break away. Even Fletcher seems to be budding up with Okada at the moment, which is not gone down so well with Konosuke right now. So I'm actually going to go with the reverse. I'm going to say Jon Moxley retains, and I think it's going to play into the detriment of Takeshita because there's more teasing that can come from the Don Callis family, particularly with Okada being, look at us with all our gold and look at the guy that couldn't get the job done. Are you even good enough to be in this? Are you really the alpha? Maybe I'm the alpha because look at all the gold that I've got.
That makes a lot of sense too. I mean, it's a great case for Jon Moxley. I'm conflicted now even more after you just pitched that to me because you're right. Takeshita is definitely a guy that can break off and be a natural babyface coming out of the Don Callis family. And then he could even run for bigger titles going forward. So the Continental title, I actually like what they do with that one. Obviously, they have that tournament that's implemented every single year, so that helps add excitement to that championship. So this one I'm okay with, but I think I just might be picking more with my heart on this one because I'm a big Takeshita guy. I've got the chance to interact with him in a few locker rooms, and I think the time is now for him. Let's pull the trigger, put the title on him.
I love that. I love that. Well, I tell you what, we'll be on either side of the fence, but if you flip the coin, I don't think you can feel you can go wrong going into this match. And hey, maybe the real winners is going to be us, the viewers.
That's true.
Eric has said he's got Takeshita picking up the victory here as well. So it's another vote there. I'm outvoted so far, but hey, we've got more matches to go. Maybe things will change, but I would be surprised if anyone doesn't pick just one name when it comes to this next match we're going to talk about. It is everyone banned from Ringside, Timeless Toni Storm versus Marina Shafir. Well, Timeless Toni Storm has been teaming up with some members of the conglomeration recently, mainly Orange Cassidy, and of course, Marina Shafir, obviously a part of the Death Riders. This one's been quite lengthy going on with Toni Storm and Marina Shafir. It's been going on for a good 2 to 3 months now. Obviously, they were involved in the hair versus hair tag team match, which saw Willie Uta get his head shaved at the Grand Slam Australia show. This one feels like that this is going to be the, dare I say, the blow off between these two. And Shafir has been but really strong in AEW. I love her presentation, the way she talks on the mic as well. You can just see as well with how Moxley sort of like appreciates her almost more than when you see Daniel Garcia and Willie Uta talk. So I love the way that she is presented, and it makes her feel like a real credible threat. However, I can't look past Timeless Toni Storm. She's the star of the women's division in AEW, and even if she doesn't have the title, I think it always makes sense to keep her looking strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is kind of just a feud to keep her busy, I think, for the time being, since she's just coming off of that world title reign. But you were saying it about Marina Shafir, and we talk about it at length on some of the network shows over at the Main Event on how much she has grown over these past couple years, to where if you have a power rankings of the Death Riders, I would put Marina Shafir at number 2. She feels like the second most important piece in that faction. Without Marina Shafir, there is no Jon Moxley, and she actually seems like a credible threat to where if you put this match on the card, say a couple years ago, maybe back in the NXT days when they both were in NXT, we'd be like, why is Toni Storm going up against Marina Shafir? But now she's actually stepped up to her game to where, it's going to be a competitive match. Like you said, she's not going to win. Toni Storm is just too over and too much of a star to lose this match, but it's going to be good because I've enjoyed the feud. I think it's doing a lot more for Marina, obviously, but I don't think Marina's going to be harmed by losing to Toni Storm here, especially with everyone being banned from ringside.
Completely agree with you. And I actually would agree as well in the power rankings. Number 2, certainly for Marina. And she's been a great help for Moxley throughout his long time as champion last year. And obviously the rest of the Death Riders are strong. I mean, Claudia is doing fantastic work. You got Pac in there as well. But I think without Marina, I think the wheels fall off. She is the glue that holds the group together.
I wouldn't deny it, but Pac, you brought up his name, and that just triggered me because I want more for that man. But I understand there's a lot of big names in AEW.
There's such a lot of talent and such little airtime to get them all on. Sadly, we will not be talking about Pac more, but unless people want to turn around and say, maybe he's going to win the national championship.
He could, I guess. This is true.
You never know. But Erica's gone for Marina Shafir to win here. She's the next TBS champion. That's an option.
I can see that.
Yeah, not against it. We move on in the meantime, and we're going to talk about 2 teams who are very familiar with one another. This is not a first-time match, and possibly not a last-time match. We've got FTR versus the Young Bucks, of course, and defined what is the greatest tag team of all time. But also, just to give this one a bit more of a personal feel this time, FTR have attacked members of the family of the Young Bucks. To see these 2 teams going at it once again, it's been a while. It feels like it's been at least 18 months or so since we've done this dance. So it does feel like it's refreshing in a way. But at the same time, we have seen this before. How do you feel about seeing this tag team match being done again in 2026?
I have no problem with it. Like you said, we've had some time to digest between this feud, and it's like similar to the WWE when they run back Usos and New Day. Are we really going to complain about getting the Usos versus New Day? No, because that's what FTR and the Young Bucks are to AEW. So for me to get this on one of their biggest shows of the year, I'm personally not going to complain, but I understand why some people may like, all right, we're really going to this again. But on the other side of things, the tag team division hasn't been that great. The only way that you could really bring back a tag division is go to what worked before. We know these 2 are going to have a really good match.
They really, really are. For me, I'm not against seeing this again. And they always find a new way to make each match interesting. And I think that they will find something that's different to pull out the bag in this match. I actually feel that I, again, have this torn feeling because obviously you want to see the redemption of family being brought back so the Bucks win the titles. However, I said this a while ago, and I feel like I can't break against it. I feel like FTR will remain those tag champions until we do get Adam Copeland and Christian Cage back in, because I feel they're going to have one run with those tag team titles, but they've been off TV for a long time now, and obviously FTR are building up those reps in the meantime.
It's funny you mentioned those names. Cage and Cope. I think they're going to be involved somewhat in this match, and I actually think they might cost FTR the titles, because I believe FTR versus Cope and Christian doesn't need titles to prolong their feud. It would be a good moment to have Edge and Christian win those tag titles. It'd be good visually for the socials and all that good stuff. But to me, I think the Bucks have to win here. I think the Bucks have done a really good job at reinventing themselves as baby faces once again. The lovable Young Bucks, the Bucks that everybody loves and adores. That's what we're getting once again. So let's give them another crowning moment. I know some people might get tired of it, but sometimes you just got to give the ball to your best players, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm going to agree with you. I think the Young Bucks are going to win this because I think there's another key ingredient that's been inserted in with FTR just recently. His name's Tommaso Ciampa. They're going to be involved in the trios match this upcoming week on Dynamite. FTR want Ciampa to be a part of the top guys moving forward. Let's say Ciampa tries to get involved in this match to help FTR retain the titles, and that could just be the catalyst of what means we're going to get Cage and Cope come out, which ends up costing FTR those tag titles against the Bucks. We can do FTR versus Cope and Cage at, let's say, Dynasty. Then that way we can move forward there. And how about then we can have Cage and Cope versus the Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team Championships at Double or Nothing. It could have, dare I say, a bit of an Edge and Christian versus Hardy Boys feel about it.
I was thinking that as well, because it's like the number one AEW tag team versus the WWE's one of their greatest tag teams. It's kind of a dream match, and they don't have to be heel versus face. It could be face versus face and still work.
Absolutely. And we've got to have some titles changing somewhere on the show. And I haven't had any so far. So for me, this is where I'm going to have first title change of the night.
Let's hit the pose. Come on. Come on, Young Bucks. Let's hit it. Boom. There it is.
Boom. Got it on the right side as well.
Nailed it.
Eric Douglas has got the Elite winning as well. So there we are. We're all on the same page for this one.
I'll tell you what. I got to say this. Eric Douglas is one of the best wrestling fans out there. That dude is in every single person's chat, and he supports everyone. So shout out to Eric Douglas.
I love that. And I have to say so, agree, because he is everywhere. I've seen his recent MVM, if I'm not mistaken, on your channel as well.
Two-time this year.
Love it. I love it. Dedication. That's what we like to see.
You still got that T-shirt, right?
I still do. I was going to wear it tonight, and then I didn't put it on in the end. But
That's okay.
But there's going to be a next time. We're not going to leave it 6 months to the next stream. I promise that.
Sounds good. We'll get you back on OTM very soon.
I love the idea of that as well. If you enjoyed the video so far, hit that like button, share with our friends, subscribe as well. All that good stuff because, well, we're just halfway through. We've got plenty to go. We're actually setting the table, digest it. Got good stuff coming up, including the AEW Trios Championships, the Don Callis family, the new champions of Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher, and Kazuchika Okada going against JetSpeed. Of course, 2/3 of the former champions who will now be joined by Místico. Obviously, with Hangman Adam Page being involved in the main event, I'm guessing they switch things up a little bit. But maybe you have more information on that than I do.
I really don't. They kind of just threw Místico in there. I don't think there was much logic to it. It's a good way to get him on the card, I guess. But I do think the main reason is just because he has the world title shot. But they just dropped those titles, obviously, to the Don Callis family. So I get the appeal of Místico. He's not for me personally, and especially since they don't have any intertwined story right now. It's hard for me to care about this match, to be completely honest with you. Especially, and this is, here I go, I'm going to complain. I got to get on my soapbox for a bit. I despise when companies put multiple titles on people and then they neglect one division. Because when you have somebody holding two titles, look at Willow Nightingale, for example. She's holding the TBS and the women's tag. The TBS title gets neglected. And now Kyle Fletcher and Okada are both holding multiple sets of titles. But eventually, you got to take some titles away. It's just not going to happen this soon. So it's got to be the Don Callis family, right?
Absolutely. As I mentioned in the stream, obviously the Don Callis family are dripping in gold right now. And if I get my wish where Takeshita doesn't win the title, it's not a wish, a prediction. It's not a wish. I would like him to win the title. But if I get my wish of a storyline that they can use that against Takeshita moving forward, that they have multiple championships in there, but he doesn't have any, that can really help create that wedge further in the Don Callis family. So for right now, I'm going to go for the champs to retain. As you said, I don't really see much rhyme and reason why Místico is here and just thrown in. JetSpeed, fun run with the trios titles, but hey, I mean, Kevin Knight's been doing a lot of solo stuff recently as well. Obviously, we've seen Speedball as well, looking to go after the TNT Championship. So I think this is actually being used more for building future storylines for those guys moving forward. And I think it's just about the Don Callis family keeping the gold.
Absolutely. Further establish the Don Callis family as a legitimate team, and then JetSpeed can move on and go elsewhere. Because the JetSpeed rodeo thing was just a little part-time thing. It's not going to be a permanent thing. Adam Page is in the main event.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly, at least for this show, but we'll see if he'll remain at the end of this. Because if he loses, he will not be able to challenge for the AEW World Championship ever again. But,
sure.
We have to wait and see. But I'll tell you what, we're going to move on in the meantime. And there is no match graphic for this one. Seen it on Wikipedia. Didn't know much about it. Big Boom AJ is going to be in the house. He's going to take on opponent to be announced at this point. For me, I've not got much to really say about this. I don't know who he will face. He's taken on QT Marshall in the past, hasn't he? And he's going to be probably someone not big named in AEW, and he's probably going to pick up the victory.
My thing that's confusing about all of this is they don't even promote Big Boom AJ at all on Dynamite or Collision. He's kind of just used on social media, and he went viral a couple years ago to where now he's not really, in the media as much. So I don't understand the point of even bringing him back. Like, why is he even on this show? No disrespect to him as a person, but like, we don't need this. I don't even have a prediction for you, Steve.
I mean, to be honest, I I didn't get it when he came in. I'm across the pond. I don't see
I
the
get it.
appeal. I don't see what goes on. But I see people like it, and if people like it, then fair enough. But I will say Big Boom AJ wins. Don't really care who he faces. I think
As
this should
long
be
as
on
Big
0 hour.
Justice, his son, spears somebody, I'll be all right.
There you go. Give us why not? Let's give it a little prediction. I'll say give us the bounty hunter. Give us Brian Keith and Big Cass could be around, or Big Bill. Sorry, I should say.
I can't even think of a name off the top of my head. I'll go with somebody from the Don Callis family, since there's a lot of members there that might not have anything going on. So Hechicero.
There we are. I love
on
that.
down.
I love that. Yep, come on down. Would be great. We'd love to see it. We've got Nathaniel in house. Thank you, Nathaniel, for joining us. Says, I think that Copeland and Christian win the titles all in. It certainly could be a possibility. Wembley Stadium returning this year. That would be tempted for me to go there and get the tickets, I'll tell you.
I was going to say, those are pretty reasonable for you guys, too, price-wise, aren't they?
They were the first year. I think they were actually right the second year as well, to be brutally honest. I haven't done the research this time around, but I'm guessing it's probably not too bad. Compared to WWE anyway, you don't need to take more to get out.
Yeah, like I sat third row at Dynamite for $90. If I wanted to get into the building at Elimination Chamber, it would have cost me $300. Insane.
Absolutely. It's mad. It's just mad.
It's all about the money, right?
It's all about the money. Yeah, I won't get into karaoke mood tonight. But what I will say, wasn't so interested in the Big Boom AJ match, but I'm very much interested in this. The AEW Women's World Championship scene. 2 out of 3 falls. Thekla going to be defending the championship against former champion Kris Statlander, who I think both of these have got good chemistry. They had a match originally. Kris Statlander won. Then obviously Thekla won the title in the second match they did. How do you see this match? 2 out of 3 falls. To my knowledge, it's just a straight 2 out of 3 falls match. I've not heard of any additional stipulations like a 3 stages of hell. But yeah, how do you see this playing out?
I think Tekla's got to retain her title here just because she recently won it, even though I have been calling her out as I'm not sold quite yet, and if she's world championship material. But I guess the only way to find out is if you give somebody a multiple pay-per-view run with the title. You get her a chance to retain her title here, beat Kris Statlander, who's a former champion, solidify her a little bit more, and then move on to something a little bit more interesting. Because to me, they kind of dragged this one out a little bit. I love Kris Statlander. I personally wish she would have gotten a longer run. And I feel like she's kind of just had a lot of gimmick changes and character changes recently that really hasn't gained any momentum. So that's probably why they took the title off of her in the first place. But it goes back to the beginning. Once again, just old wrestling logic, Steve. Thekla just won the belt from Kris Statlander. I don't see her dropping it anytime soon because I think AEW has big plans for Thekla in 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, is it the Triangle Madness? I want to say,
yeah.
Triangle Madness with Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Been doing really good work, to be fair, on the whole. I wasn't familiar with Thekla before she came into AEW, so it was a new talent to see, and she's risen really, really well. She really reminds me, this is a very old school reference here, she reminds me of Luna Vachon back in the day, with the way the presentation, and I just think she's got a lot to offer. She's a bit out there, she's a bit of a wild child, and
she's unique.
She is very unique. She's to the core. There's no one like her in professional wrestling right now, and I think that's to her advantage right now. And I think she's found herself. She knows what she is, and she goes out there and she performs it really well. And she's got the perfect stable partners right now with Sky Blue and with Julia Hart as well. Kris Statlander is becoming almost one of the more complete women in AEW. I still think character-wise, she could still needs to find herself just that little bit more. But in ring-wise, she's doing fantastic work.
Yeah, I totally agree with the Kris Statlander take there. But with Thekla, I don't know what you do next. I don't know where you go next, but I think this is the right time for her to have an experimental title run just because Mercedes Moné's off TV. That's one of your biggest names right there. We're assuming she's probably going to jump right back in the world title scene when she gets back. Toni Storm's away from the title right now. A lot of big names are in the women's tag team division. So if Thekla can't make it work now, I don't know when she's going to get another chance. So for her sake, now's the time to shine. So let's see what she's made of here in this 2 out of 3 falls match.
Certainly, indeed. And I'm going to agree with you. I think Thekla is going to retain here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a Thekla versus Timeless Toni Storm feud, maybe an individual singles feud could run after this, maybe.
I don't know if you do. You want to go back to Tony Storm so quick?
I mean, who else do you go with? I mean, Jamie Hayter
True.
has now just started a team with with Alex Windsor, the Brawling Birds, which
They're fun.
you started on that team name. I'm not a fan of that name.
Oh, really? I actually like that one.
It's just it's a British thing, Bird, it's your
Fair.
bird.
Fair.
Yeah, I think it's
I mean, a name I would like is Willow, but she's preoccupied. Britt Baker's
yeah.
not on television. Thunder Rosa just lost her title opportunity. So you're right. I would maybe say Megan Bain, but you're not going to do Megan Bain versus Thekla. That's just not going to work.
No, two heels unless Megan's changed sides on Collision. I've not
Yeah,
seen.
it's not going to happen.
No, no. Still, we're going for Tekla to win for now, and we'll see where she lands next. We're going to move on in the meantime, and we're going to get to the match I'm most looking forward to on the show. Bandido versus Andrade El Idolo. That's right, the ROH World Champion Bandido going to be taking on Andrade, who's been, let's just say, presented as a megastar since coming back to AEW. First off, look at the hair, look at the blonde locks there, the suit as well. He's got women in the front row kissing him on the cheek every single match, taking selfies. Honestly, I mean, the dude, he's Andrade never looked this cool in WWE. He didn't look this cool with AEW the first time around either. Have we finally unlocked what Andrade El Idolo presentation-wise should look? Because in-ring, he's always had the skill and the tools.
I would say yes, and I'm hopeful because, like you said, the first time around, the Andrade run didn't work. And when Andrade went back to WWE, the run in WWE did not work. So it was now or never for Andrade. And that's how I feel about this match itself because, like you mentioned earlier, the match really didn't come up from anything. It was just an after match thing. He said, I wanted a match. Bandito did at Revolution, and Andrade accepted. As simple as that. But we're getting two world class athletes that consistently put on 5-star matches for free. I know there's no title on the line, but there doesn't need to be a title on the line because they're just going to go at it and it's going to be exciting. And Andrade's probably going to win because, like you said, it seems like they have big things in store for him. And he's another one of those names where I mentioned earlier, there's about 10 to 12 that I could see in the main event scene. Andrade wins here or Bandito wins and there's an upset we don't see coming. Either one of these guys, you could shot put to the main event scene and I wouldn't be mad.
No, absolutely not. I would not be mad at all the way things are being done. I mean, Andrade, he picked up a win over Kenny Omega earlier this year as well. That's no small feat, in his short time back with the company. So, yeah, presentation-wise has been amazing. In-ring as well, some great matches as well. Really enjoyed the Hangman match in Australia as well. Bandido, like you say, is a constant top performer as well. Had a great match of MJF earlier this year as well. These two, I just think, they create magic together in ring. And look, I think Andrade is going to be the one picking up the victory here, but look, I'm licking my lips at the prospect of this. This is when I need my snacks at the max ready for this match.
This is one of those matches where you need the snacks and you need to put the phone to the side because you don't need to check your phone during this match because you might just miss something very cool. These two are going to put on a show at Revolution.
Absolutely. Do you think there's a chance this match could open the show?
Why not? Start hot and hot, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can't think of a better candidate. Maybe the trios match just because it could be chaotic and fun, but this would be a great candidate for sure.
It certainly would be. I have a feeling this one could be match of the night. I just have that in my...
You could say that about any match on this card, to be fair. It's a good one.
You could. He'd get away with it as well. That's the even better part of it. Let's dive into the comments. Yes, this is true. For international market, Ray is mentioning here. Thank you for joining us, Ray. AEW has a new streaming service, My AEW. It's the AEW version of the WWE network, which is true. So you can sign up for free and you just get AEW podcasts. If you want to join for $7.99, you can get AEW Dynamite, Collision, ROH TV, all that jazz. If you want to do $19.99 per month, you get all the AEW pay-per-views included for the month. Obviously, you get the AEW pay-per-view involved. If you want to do annually for $365, you can actually get it for, I believe it's $119 for the year. So it's basically equivalent of paying 6 months. You get the whole year. You don't just get the podcast. You don't just get the weekly TV, ROH included as well, ROH World, all the library for ROH. You also get all the backlog of the AEW content along with their pay-per-view, so you can watch everything that AEW has ever done in one place.
So my question is, why do you guys get the cool stuff and we don't get the cool stuff?
I mean, I really wanted the HBO stuff, which we
Really?
got Prime. We got Prime where we can get the pay-per-views. But I don't know. Maybe it should come to you in the States. I don't know. Maybe the deals are just too good with what you've done with your services over there.
Well, they're not that good because I have to pay $50 for every AEW pay per view, and I pay $80 a month for cable. So it's a lot, and that's really all I'm watching too is sports and wrestling. So I'm legitimately paying for wrestling when I pay for my cable bill.
I think, dare I say it, you might need a VPN, my friend.
People have mentioned that to me because I'm spending a lot of money not just on wrestling, but services that help you produce content for wrestling. If you get my drift,
I totally get your drift. Indeed, maybe using one as we speak, so I totally understand.
Yeah, and they kind of irked me a couple weeks ago with their technology issues they were having. I don't know if you noticed that when you were doing your streams, but they weren't posting to X for like a week.
Oh, really? Goodness.
Yeah.
I haven't, to be honest, I've not been using Post to X for a while just purely because it's now charges. So that's one too many.
Yeah,
so,
that app, ever since Elon took over, has gone down the drain.
Yep. It's not for me anymore, unfortunately. But Aaron Loves Wrestling Podcast, thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well, Aaron. And this is Can't Wait for Revolution on Sunday. Well, I tell you what, we are just as buzzed as you are, my friend. Feel free to drop in some of your predictions. We'd love to know who you think is going to be winning and losing on the show.
I'll tell you this, Steve, real quick. Usually I would be mad at an AEW pay-per-view on a Sunday, but since I don't have to wake up in the morning to work, I'm okay with this one. This one's okay.
We'll take it. And do you know what? The times we've realized is actually quite good for on the European side of things. If you want to watch the show live, you've not got to be up till like 5 a.m. So that's always helpful as well.
There you go.
Eric says Thekla versus Storm, maybe Double or Nothing. Who's a big name? Stardom, Dynasty, and leading to Thekla versus Hater are all in.
Eric's really trying to push the Hater narrative into existence, I think. But I think if anything, Hater will win the tag title at All In.
Tag titles probably seems most likely right now, obviously with an English tag team partner as well. But
that's the play.
Yeah, that probably. I think you're right. But for Eric and for patriotism, I
like Jamie too, but
get the double championship. But yeah.
Oh yeah, we know how much I love those. It's what we need in AEW. More double champions, Steve.
More of those. Particularly, just to have a join the Don Callis family as well, dripping in gold.
Might as well be a great fit. Well.
I love the Don Callis family. It's like my favorite thing.
It is fun.
Anyway, we'll move on. In the meantime, to who is the most dangerous man in AEW, Brody King or Swerve Strickland? Because Brody King has been a menace this year. He's been going through everyone in dominant fashion, including the world champion MJF, of course, defeating him in a minute. Yes, Hangman Page to distract him, but let's just take that out of the equation. And Swerve Strickland has reminded everyone that he is the most dangerous man in AEW. When Kenny Omega dared to say it was Brody King, Swerve put Omega on the shelf. And this past week as well on Dynamite, he used a chain to hang Brody King. Jesus Christ, that wasn't for the kids, I can tell you. Honestly, this one, they've got to go all out. They're calling this one who is the most dangerous person in AEW. They have to make this as violent as possible.
This is your blood match. You're going to get one of those in AEW, and this is the perfect candidate for it. And they set it up, like you said, with the chain choking spot last week. And I said this last week, I think, on one of my shows. Swerve Strickland is one of the baddest men on the planet and in professional wrestling. And Brody King is one of those guys that you don't want to see in a dark alley. So this matchup, buckle up. It's going to be bat crap crazy because I'm not going to cuss here. Just in case you can't cuss, I always forget. Are you allowed to cuss on here? You try not to, right?
You go for it. I don't mind.
I'm not going to let it loose. Don't worry. I'll be PG Mr. OTM for this episode. But I'm excited for this. And it goes back to what we were saying earlier. You could pinpoint every single match on this card and be like, yeah, that's going to be match of the night because you truly don't know what we are going to see here. They might cross some lines, which AEW is not afraid to do. And that's why I always say they're the alternative, not competition. And that's okay.
I love that. And I think that they're doing this match at the right place at the right time because Kenny Omega right now is written off TV, so we can't do Swerve vs. Omega 2 right now. Brody King has just come off a world title program with MJF. The most dangerous man in AEW has been presented as the tagline for the match. Swerve Strickland is looking for a way to get back into that world title scene. So to beat the person who was recently number one contender and beat the world champion, just makes a whole ton of sense for me. And to then get the moniker put back on him as the most dangerous man in AEW. Swerve Strickland, for me, has to win this match.
Isn't it great too, Steve, that like there's multiple matches on this card that don't involve actual titles, but they somehow are linked to a title in a way, like they're just one step away from getting to that title. And I think that's why AEW deserves a little bit more credit in their storytelling, because that was a big knock on them at the beginning stages, because they were just going balls to the wall, giving you the best wrestling. Well, now you're getting the best wrestling, but you're also getting some good stories, and this is a perfect example right here.
And the thing is, as well, it doesn't have to always be more complicated than that. We don't have to ask who's in the box and who's in the hooded mask. We don't need to ask those questions all the time. This is legitimately about who is the baddest person and how do I get to a world title picture sooner rather than later. Because if you lose this match, you're out of the world title picture. You're not getting back there anytime soon. You win this match, you're a step closer. And that's what I loved about AEW's, dare I say, the championship scene in the early part of this year, because the world title scene has felt so important and every match seems to matter. And for that reason, you don't want to take your eyes off of the product. And I think for me, you know, you have to give the praise where it's due. Tony Khan's doing a fantastic job with the booking right now. And I feel that, when you look at this is a match that just makes perfect sense. Right place, right time, right characters intertwined.
And Brody King's a guy that doesn't, I don't think, get harmed by losing this match, because Swerve's on such a pedestal right now to where they did their work with Brody earlier with MJF. He got over in that situation. Brody King is going to be fine coming out of this. He could pivot to one of the other 10 titles that they have.
Absolutely. We'll say, though, what if Brody King was to beat Swerve Strickland?
That really just throws a wrench into the future plans, because I mean, I think we all are under the assumption that Swerve and Hangman aren't quite done with each other yet. Like, that eventually could be something down the line. So I'm under the impression that Swerve has to win. But let's think about this. If Brody does win, he has to go right back up to the title, right? He's got to have a match with Hangman or MJF, I would think.
You would think so. And maybe that would just be an excuse for Swerve to be more dangerous.
Yeah. Write him off TV.
Maybe. Or
Get Buddy Matthews here to cost him.
Maybe someone else gets harmed in the process.
Nana?
We'll see. We'll come to it.
Okay. There's a little teaser.
Leave it
main
hanging.
event.
Leave
the main
it
event.
hanging.
I know what you're doing.
Let's go into the comments once again. But final answer, we're both going Swerve?
Swerve Strickland it is.
Swerve Strickland it is. That's what we're going with this one here. I've been asked literally, will I be doing my AEW? Not immediately. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to do it immediately. But it may be something I might look into later this year. That's
How
what
do
I
you
would
typically
say.
watch the content then?
So right now, there are ways. Mine is through ITV, is the UK terrestrial way of watching Dynamite. So that's usually my fix of getting everything AEW related.
Do they have the annoying sound thing that the WWE has that everybody talks about across the pond? When it's
I get actual adverts. I get actual adverts, but across the pond, the WWE stuff is pretty annoying. But that's why I watch it on delay. You don't get that stuff. I don't have to worry about it.
This is true. Do you remember those Netflix Raws that were on overseas? For us, it was on during the day, and it went by so quick because they didn't have any commercials. If we could just live in that world for the rest of the time, that would be fantastic, because commercials ruin the WWE product.
They do. They are very harmful. And they always come at the most inappropriate time as well. So, yeah, no.
Terrible.
Not down for it. Not down for it. Eric Douglas has confirmed, by the way, that Jamie is his favorite, but he can see someone else winning the Owen this year. Who Mercedes again? Willow, Toni, a big name like Bailey. This is incredibly unlikely. I don't know if Bailey will be out of contract in time for it, but certainly love the bold prediction nonetheless.
I don't see Bailey going anywhere anytime soon. She's starting up that, what's the group of women that she's training with? She basically is becoming a mentor in the WWE women's division. I don't see her ever leaving WWE.
No. I mean, if you'd asked me 3 or 4 months ago, I would have said yes. But seeing what she has been doing recently, it's hard to see if she will have won. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Bring it on. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, it is main event time. And make sure to hit that like button, share with a friend, subscribe, all that good stuff. And also, while you're here, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to OTM as well. Fantastic channel, fantastic comment. They will be doing their own AEW Revolution predictions on Thursday. Who are you joining with?
Actually, no Revolution this week. So this is my Revolution talk for the week. And a mix. We have independent wrestler Trevor Outlaw coming on the podcast for an interview.
Oh, okay, nice. That's my podcast on Friday morning, sort of going to work. Looking forward to that. All set. Thank you for that. Well, let's go into the main event from here. Then this is the only place then you'll hear Kyle's prediction at this particular time. Let's go for it. MJF versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship. Texas Death. This was the stipulation that was put for this match. MJF wanted this to be a weapons match, which only he could use the weapons and Hangman couldn't. Gotta love that as well. With the double-sided coin or whatever that?
Oh yeah, he ran the double-sided coin. I mean, you should have expected that, right? With MJF,
it's typical MJF. I would be disappointed if he'd not done that, to be honest. But of course, he's had everyone down his neck to make sure that he didn't get away with this, and he's ended up signing himself into a Texas Death Match. However, he is doing this, but if Hangman Adam Page loses, he can no longer ever challenge for the AEW World Championship. Now, I'm going to start this off with that stipulation because I'm going to be honest with you. It's not my favorite stipulation in the world. They did it for Cody Rhodes in the first couple of months of starting AEW, and it put the handcuffs on Cody moving forward. There was a ceiling for him after that point, and it didn't really help him in the long term to the point that arguably you could say it may have been a key pivotal moment of why he had to leave AEW, his part of his creation, to go back to WWE. If Hangman was to lose here, there is an argument that his type of character thrives with this stuff and it works very, very well. He's actually does his best work when he's down in the dumps. But at the same time, with a ceiling, does it harm him long term?
100% it harms him long term because I think he's the number one babyface in the company. That'd be like saying in the middle of the 2000s, hey, John Cena, you're never going to challenge for the WWE title ever again. You just can't do that. And that's why I'm worried about this match. And I'm so conflicted because I feel like they've essentially booked themselves into a corner with that stipulation. You brought up the MJF stipulation. That would have been more fun. That actually makes sense. That's a stipulation I think they actually should run because I've never heard of anything like that before.
Yeah, to just work for one person and the other person has to do it squeaky clean. Yeah, I think it would have been more fun. Yeah, I think it would have been perfect. Because as well, that's where MJF can just tempt it and say, here's the chair for you. Go on, hit me. It's just the character, the dynamic would have worked so well. However, I'm pretty sure that MJF is going to be bleeding like a pig during this match.
I mean, probably. It's a Texas Death Match, so they're going to go balls to the wall just like the other guys were earlier in the show. So I don't know when. I don't know what direction they go because we've been saying it all show. There's so many possible matches we could see down the line to where you can make a strong case for either one of these men.
There really is. However, I'm going to be bold. I think MJF is going to retain. He has just won the title at World's End. He, of course, has just gone through one program of Brody King. This is his proper first pay-per-view as champion again. I think his aim is to have a longer run than the last time, which would suggest then, well, we're at least going to get close if they're going to try and do that this time around. And I said something earlier on in the stream about, potential someone that could maybe get involved in this because Swerve Strickland, I'm bringing his name up again now, has said the whole roster is on notice. He is someone that wants to go for a world title. He wants to be the person that wins that title and not have any competition. He has had so much history with Hangman Adam Page to the point that even recently they've kind of forgiven one another. They've teamed. And, well, now that Swerve has turned heel, he's basically said that, well, he actually didn't regret anything that he did previously because it got him to where he was. He would know better than anybody. If I cost Hangman this match, he can no longer be in my way ever again. I get the last laugh. Yes, you burnt down my house, but I burnt down your championship dreams for the rest of your AEW career. I think Swerve is going to be the reason that Hangman Page loses and MJF retains.
This is why we get along so well, Steve. We didn't talk about this at all before recording, but I'm on that same thought process. Swerve has to cost Hangman this opportunity here for the exact reasons you said. MJF just won the title. It's going back to the Thekla situation, kind of, where I didn't see her losing. MJF versus Ospreay could be the final end game at All In. And then you have Ospreay beat the number one heel in the company in his home country, and you have a huge babyface moment there in the main event. You can run back Swerve and Hangman all summer long. My only worry, Steve, is after Swerve. If Hangman does lose, let's say Hangman loses this match, he feuds with Swerve going forward. Where does Hangman go? Because you do have this stipulation. He cannot challenge for the AEW World title. I don't think the fans, and maybe I'm just thinking from my perspective here, I'm maybe speaking for too many people, but I'm going to assume that the fans aren't going to care as much if Hangman Page is going for a national title or a continental title, rather him going for the world title. Because like you said earlier, he's one of the biggest faces in the company. So that's why I'm worried with this. I see what you see, Swerve costing him, but I'm worried where they go with Hangman post-Swerve.
Yeah, post-Swerve is the worry. There is something you can do, and I don't know how well it would go down with the fan base because you've sold a match here that if he does lose, he can't go for the title. But seeing the fact that if it's Swerve that cost him, Tony Khan could always say, look, you didn't lose the match legitimately. If you can beat Swerve, you can get back into the title scene. You're back. You can take that stipulation away. But however, Hangman is a proud man. He gives that with his character. I would say that he would stick to his word. He would. I don't know fully where he would go from because you can never fully recover it. I suppose the question is you're a big Hangman Adam Page fan. I am as well. But what I would say is that his title runs to this point. I've always loved the chase. I've loved the journey of Hangman Adam Page. I've not always enjoyed him as champion as much. He presents himself as a credible champion, but the feuds haven't always been as exciting. Maybe this escapes him from Tony Khan having to book it for a third time, dare I say. And maybe we can get something very interesting of how he can be conflicted, how he can be back down in the dumps. We've seen Hangman do it before, and that's how he produces his best work. And maybe somewhere down the line, he can find a way to get back and get himself a world title run, because that's the only way you can do it. It is the only way that he can win an opportunity to get a championship opportunity again. It's the only way around it.
100%. There's no way, like, if he does lose this match, that he doesn't compete for an AEW world title in the future. I think it's professional wrestling, guys. They will find ways to get back to where Adam Page is in the world title scene, I'm sure. And people might not like it. Hell, I might not like it. But it's possible. Anything's possible in professional wrestling.
I just feel you can't make the same mistake twice. Like, they made the mistake with Cody where it put a ceiling on him. And then all of a sudden, people stopped caring. Obviously, if you flip to the WWE side for a second, I understand he's got a lot of dislikes at the minute for winning a title again. But he went for about two or three solid years without any issues at all. And
I'll tell you about this match, too. I feel like this is a make or break moment for AEW. Because I think if you do put the strap back on Hangman Page, and I can't even believe I'm saying this because he's my favorite, I think there's a lot of questions coming out of this match. It's like, why did you even give the title back to MJF for him to have it for a couple months just to lose it at Revolution? There would be a lot of, why? Why did you do this, AEW? So where it makes more sense for MJF to retain and we move on to one of the many main event contenders that they have lined up.
Absolutely. And it also makes sense as well because Hangman has won the two title matches they had last year, or the two matches they had last year. I believe they faced at Revolution this time last year. And they also did in the UK show they did, which I believe was Forbidden Door in August last year as well. So
he's also undefeated in death matches. So this would be his first loss in a death match.
It all tees up perfectly for the MJF win. I think we have to stay with it.
It might not be what the people want to hear, but it's probably what you are going to see at the end of the night.
Absolutely. It's not a best friend's hug here right now. It's
and this is coming from a guy wearing a Hangman Page shirt telling you MJF's going to walk out AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Feels like it. It feels like it. And how do you see MJF moving forward after this? Because that is also the other question you could say, because although Swerve will be a step closer, and that's a match I really want to see in 2026, by the way, is MJF versus Swerve. However, heel versus heel.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they run the Andrade thing again with MJF, because there was some unfinished business, I think, between those two.
And maybe Kenny Omega does return next.
Kenny would be the most logical, yeah. Or Ospreay, you said it earlier. He's been having those video packages. Maybe they return him and run it earlier. They could.
My other little prediction is I think Ospreay will be back in time for the Owen Hart tournament, and I think he will be winning that to get a world title shot against MJF at All In. When's
the Owen again?
Usually around May.
Oh, so it's coming up pretty soon. Okay, that would make sense time-wise, them airing the vignettes now. That checks out.
Last year, the Double or Nothing main event was the men's final, which was Ospreay versus Hangman.
Oh, I remember that. That was a good one.
That was a quality match. I really loved that. And actually, I was certain that Ospreay was winning that as well last year.
Same.
I was so pleased I was wrong. Any final thoughts on AEW Revolution 2026 before we wrap up today?
Final thoughts? I'm very excited because it's a strong card, and AEW always delivers during their pay-per-views. I can't tell you the last time that I purchased. Actually, I can. It was the Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch pay-per-view was the last one that I bought that I was like, that was a waste of money. Ever since then, AEW always delivers, and there is 4 or 5 matches on this card that might be in the match of the year conversation at the end of the year. So I'm really excited for it, Steve. I think it's going to be a fun Sunday.
It's going to be a fun time indeed. I'm really looking forward to checking out the show. It's great to be doing AEW content as well. Again, on the channel, it's been too long. And I've got to say, it's too sweet as well to have you back on the channel as well. That's also been too long. And I'm glad to be collaborating with you, talking about All Elite Wrestling.
Always a pleasure. And hey, AEW is restoring the feeling with me right now. So big show coming up this weekend.
Absolutely, indeed. And if you've enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share with a friend, subscribe as well. All that good stuff. And do you know what as well? Not promote this one yet. Hit the hype button. It's a really good button to hit for the videos because it really it spreads it like wildfire around YouTube. So, yeah, we might get some eyes that we've never seen on the channels before. So, yeah, please do that and consider supporting wrestling YouTube content creators like myself and Too Sweet Carl as well with OTM Night Shift as well on the Main Event Wrestling Network. Potentially going to be tonight, potentially.
So right now, you could probably see it. There's actually a lot of sunlight coming into my room, which is deceiving. That is the sign that there's bad things to come. So question mark on if I'll be on the night shift tonight. But yeah, usually live 10 minutes after NXT every single week.
Will the show go live still, even if you're not on it tonight?
Jay Gold will run it solo, he said, if I am not on, because he said it can't be the 1 year anniversary with a guest. So he would rather do it by himself than do it with anybody else.
Absolutely. Well, I can say you have seen how good Too Sweet Carl is on the mic, and I can say Jay Gold is just as good as well. So make sure to go and check out the show and give some love for the 1 year anniversary of the NXT Night Shift later on this evening. Of course, OTM as well will be back with an interview later this week as well on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So that's right. My Friday morning sorted, of course, from UK time. But you make sure you can check it out live as well. And anything more in the pipeline or anything more you'd like to promote with us here today?
Yeah, guys, if you love what you heard here from me, you might not have. That's okay. But you can follow me at Too Sweet Kyle on Instagram and on X. I stay active on both of those sites because if you guys didn't know, I lost my job a little over a month ago. So this is what I do now for a living. I'm a content creator. So if you guys could just follow me, that's the easiest way to support my content. Like Steve said, I got my hands on a lot of baskets. Founder of the Main Event Wrestling Network. Host of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, Kayfabe Coffee, NXT Night Shift. Go check it all out.
And it's good stuff as well. You would not be disappointed. Just like you won't be disappointed with AEW Revolution taking place this Sunday. If you've watched all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much. If you checked out just a little bit of it, still, please you come and join us. Thank you so much. And if you're watching on delay, and this is the point of the video where I turn around to you and say, drop some comments in the comments below. Share your predictions. Who is walking away from Texas Death as AEW World Champion? Is it MJF or is it Hangman Adam Page? Thanks for watching. Look after yourselves and each other. We will see you for the next video. Take care. See you soon.